So Bernie weighed in on the DNC screwing him on The View. Let's take a look at his answer about that, as well as Tulsi.
So he's basically saying that the DNC screwed you over last time for Hillary and is going to screw you over again. Do you think that's happening? And if it does, will you have a contested convention?
Well, Meg, let me respond in two sentences.
And I would never speak that.
I know you. I know you.
We have our
When
differences, but...
President Trump refers to somebody else as crazy, talk about, somebody in a glass house. So President Trump...
It's called a projection.
Yes.
So you feel like the DNC is in the tank for candidates?
Look, last time around, and this time, my campaign, talked about it with Whoopi, we are taking on the establishment. That's no great secret. We're taking on Wall Street. We're taking on the insurance companies, the drug companies. We're taking on Trump. We're taking on the Republican machine. We're also taking on the Democratic establishment. The difference, though, between this time and last time is, as you will recall, before the first vote was cast in Iowa, Secretary Clinton had 500 superdelegates lined up behind her. In other words, like it's a 100-yard race, she's on the 30-yard line. We ended that. I would go further, but right now, on the first ballot at the Democratic National Convention, no superdelegate will be voting. That's a step forward. Second of all, I'm feeling pretty good about our campaign, and I very much appreciate President Trump's wholehearted concern about me. I know he is being sincere about this.
Yeah. Can I just follow up really quick, though? But Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard is saying she's been excluded from the DNC stage, and she actually resigned, as you know, as vice chair of the DNC last time because of your treatment. Number one, do you think that she was right? Again, I just don't know if getting rid of superdelegates is enough. And do you think it's your turn to stand up for her to be on the debate stage now?
Let me just say this. I would go further. I would ban superdelegates from voting on any ballot. We could not achieve that. We got them off the first ballot, which was a step forward. Tulsi is a good friend of mine. Where the DNC right now had a difficult problem. How do you deal with 20 candidates who are running? Do you have 20 people up on the stage together? Does that make a sensible debate? I think not. So they came up with their approach. I am not a great fan, I should tell you, Megan, as to how we do debates in general.
Right.
My own feeling would be, rather than giving people 45 seconds to talk about what we do with the crisis of high cost of prescription drugs, we focus on healthcare, we focus on climate change, do it issue by issue, rather than trying to deal with 50 different issues in a short period of time.
Yeah, I'm definitely sympathetic to that idea. So, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of the debate format because it's more about like sophistry and scoring points than it is about seriously diving into an issue and trying to get to the truth of the matter. And it's easy for somebody who's wrong on the issue to win a debate simply because they came across better. So the debate format is just not the best of trying to ascertain what the truth is. I call it like the WWE of intellectual pursuits. And that's no shot at the WWE. I'm just saying that it's not actual fighting. People are putting their body through hell, but they're not actually fighting. In the same way that when you do a debate, you're not actually trying to get at the truth. You're doing a debate. So it's just a different animal. It's a different beast. So I'm sympathetic to what he's saying. However, the downside of what he's saying is, let's say we did it like he's describing it, like, oh, let's go issue for issue and just have, whatever, 30 minutes or an hour, and each candidate gets to talk about what their, take is on that issue. That will not get as good ratings, and arguably it won't get to as many people. And so people, while a smaller number of people will watch and they will be more educated as to what your policies are, your policies won't get to more people because there just won't be as many people watching. So that's the upside and the downside of the debate. The upside of a debate is like people want to watch it. They always want to watch it because that conflict, for whatever reason, attracts eyeballs. People want to see that conflict. They want to see that kind of forum. So it reaches more people if it's a debate, but you could argue they're not as educated as if it was the format Bernie's talking about. But in the format Bernie's talking about, just not as many people would watch. So that's the upside and the downside. But I am sympathetic to his idea because he wants to get his ideas across, and he wants to actually educate people. So it makes perfect sense why he would argue for the position he's arguing for. Now, also, when he was mentioning that was in direct response to the question about Tulsi Gabbard. He said, Tulsi Gabbard's a friend of mine, and I would go further. I would have, all the candidates get their allotted time and do it that way and move away from the debate format. So that's him coming out in support of Tulsi Gabbard and saying, yeah, let's rework the way we do the whole thing. And also, she shouldn't be excluded from the debate stage. She's a friend of mine. So that's good. You could argue he could have been more direct. Yeah, he could have been a little more direct in support of her. But nonetheless, he still generally spoke out in support of her there and is in favor of totally changing the debate format. Now, beyond that, he of course said we need to ban superdelegates, and he's right about that. And his answer on whether or not the DNC has favorites was interesting because he basically said yes, but he did it without the teeth. So he said yeah, they have favorites, and yeah, I'm going to take them on. That was his answer in so many words. But he did it in a way where it didn't come across as malicious and vindictive and angry. And see, this is something that Bernie's been, Bernie has an impossible job. He's walking this impossible tightrope. And I think everybody needs to understand that because think about it. The DNC totally screwed him the last time around. A lesser person would have been, taken that personally, because it was, and would have said, fuck this, would have ran as an independent, and then when Trump won, Bernie would have been blamed to this day, and everybody who was even on the fences about Bernie would have been more pissed at Bernie. So in other words, if he ran as an independent, he wouldn't have won. There's no way. You just can't win as an independent. The way our system is set up, you can't win as an independent. If it's Democrat, Republican, independent for a presidential race, there's no way the independent can win. But he would have gotten plenty of votes, and then Hillary and the entire Democratic establishment would have blamed him, and then he would have been a pariah, and there's obviously no way he would have been able to run this time as a Democratic candidate. And it would have been a lot worse if he did that. So what Bernie's done is he's playing the long game. So he realizes, okay, they screwed me. I see it. It is what it is. The effort from Bernie was still, okay, massive, gigantic effort to get more regular people involved in the process to totally reform the Democratic Party. And in my estimation, from everything I've seen, my takeaway from it is Bernie is trying to trump the DNC this time around. In other words, the Republican establishment did not want Trump. If you guys remember, they were bouncing around. Oh, it's Jeb. Oh, fuck, it's not Jeb. Oh, it's Marco Rubio. Oh, shit, it's not Marco Rubio. Finally, they went, we'll even take Ted Cruz. Fine. Wasn't Ted Cruz. So the Republican establishment did not want Donald Trump, but Donald Trump trumped them in that his win was so overwhelming that he just curb-stomped his way to the White House. He curb-stomped his way through the primary. So that's what Bernie's trying to do this time around. So in the process of doing that, it looks like the move is, let everybody know, yeah, they have favorites. Yeah, look at what happened with Hillary and the superdelegates. And yeah, I'm going to take on the Democratic establishment. I'm going to take on the DNC. You let them know that, but he's not doing it in such a vindictive way, and he's not doing it in such an over-the-top way that he gets the Democratic establishment more engaged, more organized, and they can therefore know who their enemy is and then react accordingly and go the extra mile to screw him over, if that makes sense. So in other words, it looks like Bernie's doing this strategy of I need to keep my friends close but my enemies closer. So since the DNC screwed him, he only got more involved and got more of his people involved in the process, trying to take over the Democratic Party, running as a Democrat again. So it seems to me like when it comes to the Machiavellian angle of politics and what the Democratic establishment did and how they treat Bernie, he's really like playing chess with them. Now, it's possible that it doesn't end up working out, but I think that the way he went about this is far more intelligent than basically saying, after they screwed him in 2016, fuck this, and just blowing up the whole thing, and then instantly becoming a pariah and being blamed for Trump nonstop. Like, he knows what would have happened if he went that way, And so he decided, I'm going to go this other way. I'm going to be intelligent about this. I'm going to be clever about this. I'm going to be crafty about this. But he's letting everybody know because he said it in so many words there. Yeah, they have favorites. Yeah, they screwed me and put Hillary in there. And yeah, I'm taking them on. Guys, we're getting close, man. We're right there. We're right there. That's why we got to be more involved now than ever. We really do. You got to make phone calls. You got to knock on doors. You got to spread the word. Every little bit helps because this dude is right there. He's one of the top candidates in the race. And it seems like all the chess moves he made to this point have been brilliant. He kept the DNC this second time around enough off of his ass to put himself in a position to trump the race. He set everything up for us. Now it's just a matter of us getting him over that finish line. But this is a clear sign that he knows the DNC screwed him. He knows they have favorites. And he knows he has to take them on. And he's going to do that, and he's going to do that in a very intelligent way.